breathing that all in, that wonderful music and sound, and knowing that not only is that energy moving throughout this space that we call the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living, it's moving online through every cell of every being, through every microfiber. As the light shines so brightly into our hearts, knowing exactly what it is that we are asking for. We treat, we move our feet, we know that the sun is shining behind the clouds. And we celebrate and honor that newness that has come into this year as we celebrate and honor this 2025. Please join me in affirming. And so it is. We are an interfaith gathering, a spiritual community that honors all teachings and all spiritual teachers. And now we begin the ceremony that celebrates this oneness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths come for the one universal presence, which we call spirit. Please help me celebrate and honor Brett, who has said yes to helping with the candles this morning. I love the Vanna wave. Thank you, friend. And so let us begin. The Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. Shamanic traditions honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of pristine spirituality. Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the last candle is the healing candle of love. We invite you in the stillness of your own mind to bring to awareness the names of everyone you wish to be included in the healing flame of life, love, light, and oneness. Now that our flames of faith are fully lighted, we move forward into our celebration, realizing and reaffirming that all paths lead to God. Thank you, Brad. See how easy it is to just say yes? Since this is the beginning of the month, please join me in our purpose, vision, and mission. Our purpose, our reason for being. We awaken and inspire love and oneness. And our vision, what do we want to create? What do we want to become? We are an empowered, uplifting, inclusive community. And our mission, how are we going to go about doing this? We teach spiritual transformation with grace and joy. We have two little short readings today. The first one comes from Albert Einstein. Once you can accept the universe as matter expanding into nothing that is something, wearing stripes with plaid comes easy. He was a true master of pattern mixing. And the last one is, you are the root, and only God knows that the flower will be, by William Paul Young, a Canadian author. And so it is. Good morning. Good morning. It's so good to be back in Alaska, aside from the 14-degree temperatures. I was really having a good time in the 45-degree temperatures. Not bragging, just saying. Hello, my name is Karen Blair Sherman, and I'm a licensed practitioner here at the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. And it's so wonderful to be here with all of you in this space and to be brought into your homes. Thank you so much for being online and saying yes to this opportunity. Is there anyone that is here for the first time? I do not see anyone here. However, if you are new online, please let us know, and we'll make sure that we send you this wonderful gift that we have that can be sent through mail. And we just want you to know that we honor and appreciate you too. And so, the thing that we love to do here the most, as most of you know that have been here for a while, and it's always a call and response with Karen, because as an educator, I know that if you're participating, you're listening. And so they go hand in hand, right, Susan? Susan's also an educator in the room. And so what's the thing that we love to do most? Pray. Yes, and there are many ways that you can receive prayer. You can, if you're here, you can pull out a very colorful piece of paper that's in front of you. It's along with some other information in the back seat. And it's yellow. Ooh, bright yellow. That's wonderful. And fill it out. There's a box that is right to the right as you came in. You'll fill it out. As soon as you're writing that, the intentions of your heart, God already knows. Spirit already knows. Love already knows. And it's already moving and grooving. We're just going to put some extra energy to it, because we all know where one or more are gathered in unison for that prayer, it just puts that extra deliciousness, like frosting on a cinnamon roll. And it just spreads it out and has it burst forth with more energy and deliciousness. And so if you have lots of celebrations, also, you do not have to ask for prayer when you're in a time of need. You can also ask for a prayer because you have so much abundance going on. You just want that energy to keep flowing. And so write that out. Our friend Judith, what I love about her is I've seen on her post, she's like, I just knew that I was going to win this because as soon as I filled it out, it was already mine. And then she wins. My mother had that kind of energy too. She still does. And so that's one way that you can receive prayer. Online, you can send it in right now within the messages, or there's also a place that says prayer on our website, and you can push that, and Rev Linda will send those to us. We've been receiving several lately, and this time of year definitely has a lot more prayer requests coming through. You also can tap one of us for a 1-minute miracle, a 1-moment miracle, our Om. I love that Kaleem changed that, because it's really not a minute. It's very rare. I mean, Rev Don maybe can get it down to a minute one time. He is the master at really focusing in and getting it lined and done. But for most of us, nope, doesn't happen. But it does happen in a moment. So if those people who can be tapped would stand so that everyone knows who they can call forth. We have Linda and Bob and Rev Dawn and Judy and Cynthia, myself, and then next door we have Rev Dawn's beautiful bride, Anne and Robert. Also, you can call into the center. Rev Don will receive your message. He will take care of it himself, or he will tap one of us. And so there are many ways to receive prayer. The only thing that you have to be willing to do is to say yes. I do it all the time because, you know what? Once you know that it works, why would you not use it again? It just becomes practice. I know that as a society, we've been taught to not cry, handle our own problems or what. I'm just going to say, boo to that. Boo to that. We are human beings, and human beings belong together. We were meant to just encompass each other, love on each other, be there for each other. So just let us do that for you. Now, there are other ways that you can say yes. There's several ways that you can say yes. One of the things that we've said yes to as a group who decides where our gracious giving dollars are going to go, we'll be coming to do that soon. So for October, we decided that the Arc of Anchorage, and they received $340.20 from us. And in November, the 4As received $322. So thank you so much for the money that you generously give each week, because that not only goes here, it goes to our global parts, and it also goes to our community. If you would like to join the team for the planning team, we are looking for people. It's called the DIAT, which stands for Device Innovative Activities Together. You please see Rev Dawn or Joan Heidel for agenda and Zoom link. And then we are in need of old magazines. I'm sure that many people have some old magazines hanging around the house that you just want to get rid of. And so please bring those in, because in February, Cynthia George and Cindy Hensley will be hosting a visioning board event. And if you have never done that, it is absolutely wonderful to know what it is that you're really focusing on visually to bring in for the new year. Okay, before we go into our minister's moment, I just want to let you know that when Linda speaks, I always love being her practitioner. She says, well, I'm not really speaking about an experience today. It's about something that was shared with me. I said, well, there still was an experience on your side when it was shared with you. And so one of the other things about Linda is, do many of you know that she was a director for sales when I first met her? She had been in the hospitality industry, predominantly through the hotel industry, for over 20 years. But then COVID hit. And for many of us, well, I'm not going to say for many of us, because I was fortunate that with the Anchorage School District, we still were expected to teach students. So I still had a job that maybe looked a little different in how it was delivered, but I still was teaching. For Linda, that meant that hotels were pretty much not running because there was very low attendance at the hotels. And so it brought her to a whole new experience, and she got to reimagine herself doing something else, and that became an accountant. It was the same thing when her precious Midnight, who many of us knew, the little doggie who would be here, she allowed herself to experience whatever it was that she needed to experience. And then her love for dogs brought it so that now she house sits, or she doggy sits, or she pet sits. Currently, I think she has like 4 dogs, some cats, and a whole lot of chickens that she's taking care of right now. So I just give that as an example that when we're open to change, we really can reimagine ourselves as something else, which is really just continually looking at what is our sole purpose. And so, minister's moment.
Thank you, Karen. A couple of these things are things that Karen just said, but we have 2 openings on the Leadership Council this year. And I'm asking all of you here and those online to prayerfully consider running for one of the 2 empty seats, vacant seats on the Leadership Council this year coming up. Also, as many of you know, my days here are growing short. And as our minister, I'm still going to be on a planet. But I'm involved in a few things that we need to backfill. And one of those is the planning team, which Karen just talked about. The other is the Vision Corps. So there are a couple things that I'd like for you to consider stepping up and filling in, because these need to be done. We need people in those places.
Rev Don, could you please clarify if there's prerequisites for any of those?
There are for the Leadership Council. We like to have a completed a foundational class. We always teach foundations plus one other class. For Vision Corps, we like to have someone with experience in visioning The best is, of course, is to actually taken the visioning course that we offer, but we have other things it can do. Tony Shannon offers a little course in visioning every month, and you can attend that. And we monthly have visioning for your own life. So there are opportunities to fill those prerequisites. That's a good one.
Thank you to the choir. And all of you can also be up here singing with this amazing group of people. And I'm the testimony that you don't really need to know how to sing. So consider joining us. Everything changes, and I can change too. Doesn't that sound so simple and easy? And it makes for a great song. Happy New Year, everybody. Can I share with you the prayer that I prayed for myself for the new year? Dear universe, my prayer for the new year is a fat bank account and a thin body. Please don't mix them up like you did last year. And so it is. Anyone else have that same prayer? So the title of today's talk is Spiritual Flat Tire. So what is a spiritual flat tire? So it's when like a really bad event happens to you, like the worst event, but I don't know. Have you ever been at a red light and it turns green and then you hesitate? That happened to me once, and the hesitation saved my life because somebody ran that red light, and it would have really messed me up for a long time. And that happened to me like 30 years ago, and I still remember that to this day. It changed me. So, spiritual flat tire, you have a choice. We're all at choice to see any problem as a gift, a wake-up call, or a new beginning. So instead of thinking life or God is punishing you, maybe stand in the wind and declare something good will come from this. Something good. This declaration actually changes your attitude and your perspective, which of course changes the outcome. Yes? Yes? Anybody else done this? No. Her name was Terry, and she had kidney disease. She had started dialysis, but she needed a transplant. Providence Hospital, just right over here. She works in a medical office, and she was walking down the hallway, and she ran into a friend of mine. And this isn't even, they knew each other, but it was just like this acquaintance thing. They had worked together sometimes, but not really together. So she bumps into my friend, and my friend, of course, hey, how you doing? So everything came out. And she talked about she had been in this process of needing a kidney for 10 years by this point. She was really excited, though, because, in organ donation, it usually is with kidneys. You might get a kidney through a tragic accident where someone donates. But the most logical place is family and sometimes friends. So her son was testing to give her a kidney. So she was full of hope that her life was going to change. But of course, to be an organ donor, you got to go through a lot of testing and a lot of matching. It's not an easy, oh, okay, yeah, show up Monday. So my friend, when they ended the conversation, she looked at her and she said, well, you know, if something happens, call me. Who says that? To someone who needs an organ. If something happens, call me. Well, something did happen. When they were doing the testing on her son, they discovered that he had a tumor in his kidney. He was not allowed to donate, but he did get treatment and took care of his kidney situation. But this left Terry back in that position of needing a kidney donor. She thought about my friend. She thought long and hard about how was she going to approach this, you know. And so she called, and this is back in the days of landlines, phones that are attached to things. And my friend was on a trip. When she came home, she heard the message. And the way Terry broached it was, do you know anyone who might do this? My friend and Terry had the same blood type. And by the end of that conversation, my friend, I'm in. Okay, I'm going to go donate a kidney. Who does that? A lot of testing had to be done, and medical clearance had to be given. And that fell on my friend. Like, she had to fight the medical system to get this opportunity. The transplant was scheduled, and guess what? It was successful. Yay! Just love when things like that. Now, Terry's spiritual flat tire was, of course, her kidney disease. But what she got out of it and what she got to look at was she saved her son. She got to save her son, and walking down the hall of Providence, a miracle happened. She ran into my friend, taking a situation, a spiritual flat tire, and turning it around. Well, as I said, Happy New Year. We all survived. That's awesome. I have not found anybody yet who actually stayed awake. Awesome! Oh, look, all the partiers are in the back of the room. So, Rev, you stayed up to midnight?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Things you didn't know. So, as we close out this year and we go into a new year, I have some questions for you. What name or phrase would you give to your journey of the past year? I know. I wrote this talk and I've been thinking about it. I came up with medical gratitude for my year, because now, you know, a lot of medical stuff happened. But I got to end the year on Bob the dog and Dana, my friend, who both were looking at cancer diagnoses coming back benign. So I was like, whoa! So my phrase would be medical gratitude. Now, I would also wonder, how would you describe the year to your friends? What image or metaphor would you use to talk about it? I love this one. Who were your wise persons? Isn't that a cool question? Who showed up for you? And last but not least, what was the most satisfying thing about your year? So these are awesome questions that aren't setting intentions that you're not going to follow through on. These are just kind of reviewing the year. Because what name or phrase do you want to be attached to 2025? How do you want this year to unfold? What gifts do you bring into this year? Check. Are you also bringing in resistance? And last but not least, ooh, did I hit a nerve? Bam. I know that hit my nerve just writing it, so. And then the last question. What is your greatest need for this coming year? It's inevitable that something we don't like is going to happen. And it might be a job loss. It might be a relationship shift or issue. It could be financial worries. What are you going to do with your spiritual flat tire when it arrives? Are you going to look for that silver lining? And kind of go, okay. When crap hits the fan, it's really hard to stand in the light. Right? It's really hard to kind of go, there's a silver lining here somewhere. Which, by the way, which is where all of us come in supporting each other, holding that vision, even if that person can't hold it for themselves, that no matter what has happened, that it is for a reason, that the universe is driving the bus. And perhaps the bus wants you to go down this road and not that one. We each have the human capacity and the spiritual wherewithal to allow the coming year to be truly blessed and for it to be joyous. And just in case you need some inspiration, let me tell you a little bit more about Terry's story. The reason that there was lots of extra stuff put in for this person to donate her kidney was because she was 69. Cutoff for kidneys is like 55. But this person was found to have an unusually healthy kidney. And she fought to have the privilege and the right to donate this kidney. Terry lived for another 10 years after that. And you guys know, you all know this person, right? Judy? Come here. At 69, wandering down the hallway at Providence, she said, yes. She was a miracle. Oh, I love you, Judy. Do we have to plan on being a miracle this year? We don't, but wouldn't it be fun to be one? Wouldn't it be fun to have this story that at age 69, she gave her kidney away? Let's give it up for Judy. So let's finish this off with these conclusions. And if anybody has an idea, shout it out. What name do you want this new year to have? Does anybody have an idea?
Clarity.
Clarity? Anything else?
Growth.
Growth.
Glowing health.
Yes.
Transformation.
Perfect.
Peace.
Peace? Who said peace? What'd you say?
Purpose.
Purpose.
New beginning.
Yes. Yes. What gifts are you bringing into the year? Patience? Ooh, nice. How about over here? Do you have any idea? Love. Hope. Better health.
Breath.
Faith. Openness. Yeah. What? Learning. Yes. My class is all sitting together. It's really cool. Happiness. Wouldn't that be awesome? So I have an assignment for you, besides thinking what your words for 2024 would be. And your assignment is this. What's your spiritual goal? In 2025, spiritually, what do you want to do? Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Think about it. We can set some early intentions, not having a clue as to what's going to happen this year. But we can sure change who we are, and we can sure walk into the year in a way that we want to show up. Yes? Okay. Remember, you don't have to be a miracle. But wouldn't it be fun if we did? Thank you. And I'm like really done early, so I would like to recall my time for further in a future talk.
Let us pray. As we move into this prayer of oneness, this prayer of hope, this prayer of possibilities, we breathe into that light as it surrounds every cell of our being and bursts forth as us, through us, to be not only the possibility of a hero for someone else, but the hero first for ourselves. Welling up in that oneness, that wholeness of health, of wealth, of growing not only our financial bank account, but our spiritual bank account, our physical bank account. And as we set the attention for our prayer and for the possibilities of this new year, let us make sure too that we are moving and grooving and walking our feet in the direction of what we're saying yes to. I leave space for you to set that intention for yourself right now. What are you saying yes to? I give thanks for the knowingness and with great gratitude that what you have said yes to is yours. I release and I know that it is absolutely so. Please join me in affirming, and so it is.
So if you go over to Judy's house, Julia O'Malley, do you remember her? She used to write. She actually did a big article on Judy and Terry and the transplant. But you know what cracked me up? Judy has hair in this photo. It's just like she's got hair. Yeah, well, longer than it is now. Isn't that cool? So we come to that place where we get to give a piece of ourselves away, knowing that it's going to come back 10, 20, 30 fold. So please take your gift, place it upon your heart, and feel into this as you reread it. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
So as our service comes to close, it's very interesting how when we're here as the prac of the day and the message that's being received, like many times, just like when we're being asked to pray with someone, there's no accident who you choose to pray with, because there's something that's being experienced that reminds us of oneness. And as I know the truth for you, I know the truth for myself. Or as I know the truth for myself, I know the truth for you. So as Linda was sharing about Judy, my brother-in-law, when he was young, had kidney cancer and lost one of his kidneys. And there was a cadaver that at first he had a transplant. Later in life, great athlete, lots of things happened that create maybe some differences for his limitations. And later, the very spiritual center that he chose to go to because he needed to have another kidney transplant, there was a perfect match of a minister who was a live human who gave the kidney that he still has in his body today, because that was over 30 years ago. And so, heroes, sheroes, right? There are many opportunities to say yes, and it doesn't have to be something as big as that. It can be something as simple as breathing or listening. Breathing and listening can allow someone to truly know that they matter, and also can save life. Thank you to Susie P., who is out there watching with us today. And it's interesting also that we're going to do this as our affirmation, because this is the card that I chose, and it says, you'll do it with me afterwards, I simply breathe. I am doing great. So here we go. I simply breathe. I am doing great. Yeah, there's some energy, and so it is.